Hey Anchorage, welcome to another edition of the Local Business Spotlight Series. The Local Business Spotlight Series is a weekly segment that we do to introduce our community to local business owners. If you would like to have your business featured in this series, then click on the link in the description and to our website, and we'll get you set up. This week we're featuring Rich and Deb Blouin from Drain Masters. Welcome, Rich and Deb. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Good to be here.
You bet. So tell us a little bit about yourselves and your business.
Well, we're a local sewer drain and plumbing company here in Anchorage, and been around for a little over 2 decades, and just kind of started in this industry by chance, kind of moved over from some other construction areas, and just really seemed to have a knack for it. And since then, we've been able to acquire a number of drain companies, smaller companies, merging them together over time. And we've been able to build a pretty successful business with a very good reputation here within the municipality. So it's been a lot of fun.
Nice. So what is your mission at Drain Masters?
Solving problems.
Yeah, really, that's it. That's our logo tagline. You know, problem solved. Our goal isn't to just go in and band-aid an issue. In some circumstances, that's really all you can do.
Sure.
Determining what's needed, but our goal is to really get in and try to find a more permanent solution for the customer, so they don't have to deal with that particular plumbing or drain issue in the future again.
To add on to that just a little bit, we want to do that with care and compassion and a little bit of humor. Because with plumbing and drains, that's never your best day when you've got something going on wrong there.
Sure.
So having the care and sensitivity, but also letting you know that tomorrow it will be funny, we promise.
That's great. That's really great. So who do you serve in the community?
Well, we're primarily the Anchorage Bowl and Eagle River area right now. We prior to COVID, we were going a little farther up, Peters Creek, Chugach area, and down to Girdwood. With all the COVID things rolling out, we kind of closed back into home a little more, just to focus on things that we needed to do here. And so the future plans is to expand back into those areas and eventually get up into the valley and beyond. But right now we want to make sure that we're keeping everything as good as it needs to be for our client base right here in Anchorage.
Great.
Primarily residential homeowners and property owners and local business owners, primary owners.
Okay. That's great. So tell us a little bit about what you were doing before you opened Drain Masters.
Well, how far do you want to go back? At one point, I was a beekeeper. I was a sandblaster. Had a stint as a pastor for about 10 years.
Oh, nice.
A number of different things. Had landscaping business. Managed Pizza Hut for a while, but that was quite a while ago. But I had started my own, we started our own maintenance company probably about 25 years ago. And we were doing a lot of smaller maintenance projects and working with a lot of restaurants and commercial buildings, carpet cleaning, window cleaning, things like that, drywall repair.
Sure.
And at the time I got to know an individual who owned a local drain company called Master Sewer and Drain. And we started working together. I started helping him on some projects that he needed. It's a small company, one truck shop, and there were times that he needed help, taking on additional work. So I started helping him, and so I started learning kind of the skill and the art of drain cleaning and what that all entails. Did that with him for a couple of years, and the opportunity came up to purchase that business. He was going in a different direction. And we made the leap. That was a little over 21 years ago. And since then, we've purchased a total of 4 drain companies here in Anchorage. One of them being Drain Masters right around 20 years ago, incorporated here in the state. And we've just ran with it ever since.
Nice. Good for you. So let's see. You already brought up when did you start. So tell me a little bit about your favorite services or one of your favorite services that you offer at Drain Masters.
Well, one of the things that we're really excited about, we started about 5 years ago, is doing cured in place pipelining. And what that does is that enables us to go into a failing line. And a lot of people know that Anchorage has a lot of old homes and a lot of old infrastructure here.
Sure.
And the average age of cast iron pipe, which is one of the most common materials used here, is about 30 to 40 years. And a lot of our homes are already surpassed that age. So we're with cured in place pipelining, we're able to go in, clean the interior structure of a pipe, and then essentially put a pipe within that pipe without having to dig up a concrete slab in the house, without having to dig up a yard or a driveway or disturb landscaping material. So we started out originally just, cleaning drains. That was our main thing. Since then, we've expanded those services to also doing camera inspections, where we can go in and do thorough diagnostics of lines. We can, find issues that are going on. And in the past, we would just go in and clean those lines as good as you can with a drain snake, which
Sure.
A lot of consumers don't know that drain snakes aren't really designed to clean lines. They're just designed to clear clogs. So it doesn't really get to the issue of what's going on and to our motto, which is problem solved. So we found out that we could go in after opening a line, restoring the flow. We could go in with a good camera system, and we use the best cameras in the industry, high definition and high quality. And we can go in and see a lot of detail within a pipe. We can find tree roots, offsets, breaks in a line, separations from earthquakes, ground shifting and freezing. We get a lot of cleanouts that frost heave up here and separate, allowing dirt and rocks to fall into a sewer line of the home. And that's going to increase the chances of it clogging. But now we can go in as a full service shop. We can clean those lines, rehabilitate those lines. We use milling equipment that can go in and remove loose scale and debris much more efficient and a lot better than you can with just a typical drain or power snake. And once we do that, we can go in and hydrojet. We can flush a line, high power water flushing. And depending on the integrity of that line, we can go in and we can epoxy coat, resin coat that line, 3 millimeter thickness coating, or we can shoot a structural liner, a fiberglass liner that we invert into that pipe. And you're going to get another 50 plus years out of that line.
Wow.
While avoiding digging up your flooring in your house and your concrete, your driveway, and all that. If there's, in rare cases, there's times that we do need to get to an access hole or repair a pipe that's completely shifted. We do have full excavating services on site that we do. And our goal has been to try to bring as many services as we can under the Drain Master name, so that we can ensure that the product that we deliver to our customers from the moment they call into our call center till the time we complete the job and hopefully get that 5-star review on Google is something that we're able to maintain that integrity and that level of service all the way through from start to finish. And you can't always do that when you work with subcontractors.
Sure.
We've been fortunate over the years. We've worked with some really good ones, for sure. But it's nice to be able to know that we can go in and when we have a concern with a customer who's having a major drain or sewer backup, we know exactly what needs to be done, and we can take full control of that job. Many times we'll put up a client in a hotel if we need to. We can provide, portable toilets if we need to, that we have our own on site. So our goal really is to make sure that we're that full service shop that can deliver all that service and that peace of mind that will then be that permanent solution. So they're not having the same guys come out year after year after year dealing with that same problem.
Wow. So I wish I would have known about you 30 plus years ago. So I had I think the lining of the pipe and not having to dig anything up is a huge advantage and a benefit. When I was younger, I got married when my wife and I, we were just engaged at that point, and we had just bought a house. We were pretty tight on money after buying a house, trying to get married, and we were still pretty young. And then the water line actually between the house and the city out in the front broke and flooded our yard.
Wow.
Plumbing company come in and fixed it, but they dug up our front yard and it was a mess. We were planning on having the wedding at the house there so that we could save on money with that, and that just destroyed those plans.
Yeah.
So that would have been a great opportunity then.
Yeah.
The other advantage too is the time that it takes in the winter to thaw and dig. If we can get in there and we don't have to dig a completely collapsed line,
Sure.
we can get in February. You don't have to wait until spring to get your line taken care of and addressed.
Sure.
So we can do this year round, which is a huge advantage.
Yeah.
Over having to rely on excavation services exclusively.
And in many cases, it's possible for it to be a repair that takes less than a day. So you literally could maybe just be without service for just a few hours and then right back up and running. But like I said, if it does take longer, we've taken steps to ensure that we can deliver the best possible service we can to our customers. Another thing that we've done is to partner with a number of companies so we can offer financing to all of our customers, because a lot of times we think of big ticket items, but a lot of times just a simple job that needs to be done. If somebody's hasn't anticipated needing to have something done, you get home, you're getting ready to entertain guests at your party, and your garbage disposal goes out before Thanksgiving or something, and a lot of people may not have, some cases, just a few $100s laying around that they can just throw to something else. Maybe they've committed it to something different, but we're able to work with them, provide different financing for them, in some cases, no cost financing. So that's really helpful to a lot of them. One of the things that our company also does, we actually started this last year, as 20 for 20, because in 2020 we were 20 years old, and this year being 2021, our program this year is 21 for 21. And what we do is we look for customers in the community that maybe have a special need. There's a special circumstance where they're having an issue that they need to have some work done, and it might be something that they weren't prepared to do, or just now is not a great time to do it. It's beyond what they can handle. We look at these on a one-by-one basis. We kind of talk with the homeowner, ask them some questions, try to find out what's going on. And what our goal is to find 21 customers this year. I think we've had about 10 so far already this year that we can go in, and there may be certain things that we can do to help. We may be able to offer free labor on a repair. We may be able to offer a part, at cost, or cover a whole job, depending on what it is. We look at it per job basis, but it's something we do each year with our
also based on nomination.
Yes.
So we ask people to nominate a friend or neighbor they know is in need, and contact us
Right.
on behalf of that other individual, so that it just has so much more engagement, and they can be the caretaker for their neighbor, and we can come alongside of them to help the neighbor.
Yeah, and that also helps too with just people who say, hey, let's call up and get a free water heater, because that's not really the purpose of it. We really do want to help the community, engage with our customers. And 21 helps that we can do this year. Don't seem like a lot, but to a small business, going out and offering something at minimal cost or no cost in some circumstances, can be pretty substantial for us.
Yep.
So we were trying to find a way to limit how much can we do, what can we do, and it was actually something we saw another company do down in the States, and we thought, well, hey, wouldn't that be great? We're 20 years old in 2020, so we started last year doing 20 for 20. And so this year we're doing 21 for 21. So we do let people know, hey, if you know somebody, friend or family member, parent, somebody that they just need some help, reach out, call us. let us know what's going on. Let us see if it's something that we can do, something that we can work, within our company, and see if we can get in there and help them out. Sometimes we will go in. One job that we did earlier in the year was a job that really had to get an insurance company involved. There was frozen lines, a lot of water damage, a lot of structural damage, which was beyond what we could do. But we ended up going out and kind of doing the diagnostics. The homeowner didn't know what was going on. We didn't know. We got on site. When we saw what it was and the extent of what it was, the technician called in and said, "Hey, what do you want to do on this? This is going to be a huge job." And we said, "Hey, let's just go ahead and donate that camera service, that inspection service, to them for free." It was a young couple living in I think a grandmother's house, and the grandmother was out of state. They were dealing with all the COVID stuff. And we said, "Hey, let's just go ahead and make that as part of our 21 for 21. Tell them there's no charge today for the work that we did," because now they have information, useful information, that they can take to their insurance company, because that's where they're going to really have to have a lot of work done.
Sure.
Beyond what we can do, but we can do our part and help this family out. So it's things like that we want to do in the community.
That's awesome. I mean, so many businesses try to give back in the community, don't have great ways to do it. That's an awesome way to do that. That's really great. Yeah, I love that. So let's see, I lost track of where we were here. Tell me what you love most about going to work every day.
That's hard to say. I mean, my employees could probably come up with a lot of things for me. I love what I do. I'm one of those owners. I'm 58. A lot of guys ask me, "Hey, when are you going to retire?" And I say, honestly, I don't even think about that. I said, I like what I do. I wake up before my alarm clock every day. I come into my office. If not the first one here, I'm shortly after. And I'm usually the last one gone, and I'm not here because I have to be. I just love what I'm doing. I love what our company's doing. I love our culture. I love the employees that work for us. As owners, we treat our employees as our customers, and then they treat their customers as their customers. And it's just it completes this cycle that we believe here, where at the end of the day, everything we do has to be a win for our customers, and a win for our employees, and a win for the company, because that way we can stay around for many, many, many more years in the community, impacting lives, helping people, not just our employees, but vendors and people that we work with, because we're all in it together. We tell our guys all the time, "Hey, we're going to succeed together, or we're going to fail together, but one way or another, it's none of us are in this on our own." So I just enjoy what I do. Most of the time, 7 days a week. At some point, I'll be in this office. Truth be told, I like being here on the weekends because nobody's here to bother me, and I can get more work done.
Right.
But I just like what I do.
That's awesome. That's awesome. The way you treat your employees sounds great. I've worked construction all my life, and I've worked for some contractors in the past that definitely don't treat you that well. So that's awesome. Anybody looking for work, I know if I was a plumber, you'd be a company that I'd be looking at. That's something that's very important to me right now. So, yeah. So tell me about some of the team members or employees that work there.
So we have one of the gentlemen on our dig crew is named Smitty, and he's a Southern boy from South Carolina, right?
Minneapolis.
Memphis, Tennessee. And he is a hoot. He's the most unassuming individual you'd ever want to know, but then he opens his mouth and you can't help but smile. And Casey, our operations manager, is in America from the Caribbean via the UK.
Yeah, and Houston.
And Houston, and then Alaska.
Wow.
Yeah.
And about as different from Smitty as you can get in every possible way. But equally just a real joy to be around, and a real motivator in our company for sure.
We have a lot of great team members. A large number of our employees are military vets.
Oh.
we kind of had a joke in the shop one day because I mentioned I didn't have a military background, but we have Marines, Air Force, Army, Navy.
At one point, we had every branch represented except for Coast Guard.
Yeah, they're all here, and I guess made the mistake of saying, hey, if we had somebody here from the Coast Guard, we'd have all the military. And of course, all the other branches were like, no, they're not the real military. They're not real military. I said, okay, I'm not going to go there. I don't know about all that, but I would say probably 1/3 to almost half of our employees are veterans, and some 10-year Marines and things like that. Guys that have come in that have really been a help, really brought in some good discipline. We just have great team members. We love training our guys. We have, training rooms. We're presently building a training lab where it's one of the things that we lack in this area is a training school for technicians, for plumbers and drain cleaners. And being able to bring somebody in, our motto is let's hire for character and let's train for skill. Because you can teach the skill. Many times you can't train that. You can't teach the character.
Sure.
So we find that the men and women that are good culture fits for our company, getting on the right bus, we call it, and then we train them up. We spend a lot of time and money training guys in our. We just finished a new tech training room, and we're building a training lab where they'll be able to go in hands-on with zero experience and learn how to operate power snakes and millers and hydrojetters and cameras and things. Skills that are not just going to make them better for us as employees, but better and more employable through the rest of their lives if they move out of state. I mean, we don't want them to go anywhere. Our philosophy is we're not here to give you a job. We're here to give you a career, and we want you to be here, and stay here and retire with us. So we train them on site in the lab. We train them in the field where we send them outside to trainings in the East Coast, West Coast, California. We're part of Nexstar Network, which is a trade co-op of member companies, about 800 companies across the U.S., Canada, Australia. That was started about 30 years ago with the goal of elevating the trades. Getting the idea of the plumber and the electrician, the HVAC technician, these guys beyond just the guy with the sagging pants and the weekend handyman, to really see the value that this industry brings. A lot of times we tell our guys, compare yourself, even in some cases, to a doctor, in the sense that even if you can have all the penicillin in the world, but if you don't have clean water coming in and bad water going out, penicillin is not going to help you long term.
Sure.
So really what we do is important in getting these guys to understand that there are huge opportunities out there, and it's not just going in. You're not just, going into, plunge a toilet. You really are going in to focus on health and safety, be a consultant to customers and help them to see some of the health and safety risks that are in their home when they have drains that are overflowing or things that are happening. So really just working with our employees, training them within the company. Outside, we believe in, I don't know if you call it holistic, but I believe that an employee is going to only be as good in the company as they are at home. That you can't really, it's easy to say, hey, leave your personal problems at home. It's not possible to do. That's going to migrate into your company. So we encourage the guys. We provide audio services and things where all of our employees can download. There's like a library of 3,000 books on personal finance and relationship issues and counseling, skills, anything, because we know that if we can make them better as individuals and as husbands and wives and as employees, then we're reaching that whole individual that impacts the community in such a dynamic way, rather than just for the goal of coming in and making us more money. And that's not our real goal.
It's not about building a business. It's about building people.
Right. Exactly.
That's great. That's awesome. So tell me about some misconceptions that people have about your line of work.
The biggest one is going to be that the snake that everybody associates with that drain guy,
Right.
that will solve their problem. It'll make the immediate symptom go away, but I would rather offer our customers a clean drain than a clear drain. A clear drain is going to get clogged again, but a clean drain has a much better lifespan than a clear drain.
Most people assume that the clog is the problem, but it's not. It's just the symptom of a problem. And that's really where our motto, problem solved, came from, is to let people know it's not just enough to go out and just remove this blockage, because if a plumbing system's installed properly and used correctly, it should never clog. So if it's clogging, there's something going on. And up here we have, freezing and thawing. We have frequent earthquakes, ground shifting, and, lines that settle out and belly over time. 20 plus different types of pipe that we have in the ground up here in Anchorage, from, tar paper pipe made back in World War II to clay pipe and cast iron and wood pipe that we still have in places in Anchorage. And so there's a lot of things that can be happening. So one of our goals is to really educate our customers, to help them understand, if we just come out to clear this clog, we're just buying you a little bit of time. And eventually this problem is going to return. And in many cases, the cost is going to continue to get more and more expensive. So if we can get in there now, find out what's going on, do an inspection of this line with our camera system, come up with some advanced cleaning techniques, and see if this line is a candidate for going in. If you've got tree roots and things, we can go in and line a pipe, in one shot, 100 feet plus in length, and prevent roots from ever entering that line again. So a lot of times the only other option is caustic acids, things that will kill the root, but could also just, harm your tree. And there's a lot of landscape and trees that people have been growing in their yard for 30 or 40 years. Sure. And you don't want to come in and say, hey, guess what? You're going to have to cut that tree up. So we've got a lot of opportunities to come in and help people to understand if there's a clog, that's the sniffly nose when you have a flu. That's just a symptom. But let's get beyond that and see if we can get to something more permanent for you.
There is one problem that we can't solve, and that is the 3-year-old curious kid that has a bag of Legos and an unattended toilet.
Yeah.
We can't solve that problem. Yeah. The only thing that can solve that problem is age and time.
Right. Yeah, that's a good one. One of my boys, when he was younger, tried flushing an apple down the toilet.
I just want to see what will happen.
Okay, that doesn't work, buddy.
It actually,
so that's the only real problem we can't solve.
Yeah, it actually happened to my wife's sister a number of years ago. They called me over because they had a clogged toilet, and I went over there and cleared the clog, and I pulled out, those little paper drinking cups that you put on the sink that your mom would put up, you use in the morning to take your vitamins with. Yeah. And we pulled one of these little plastic cups, out of there. And I showed the father, and he immediately went to the kid and, said, did you throw that in there? And she said, yeah. She said, yeah, I did. And he said, why? And she said, I wanted to see if it would go down. and I just told him, I said, you can't be upset with that. I mean, she legitimately wanted to know what'll go through there. She was doing some experimentation, and I said, you can't be mad about that. It was just kind of a funny thing. But we've pretty much seen it all. You name it: cell phones and hairbrushes and deodorant sticks and car keys and
wow.
Yep, dentures and all kinds of stuff. Pretty bizarre things.
Sure. So water leaks, I know can wreak havoc on a place, especially if you don't know them. I mean, water leaks, when you see them, and if you don't get them taken care of right away, you start getting mold, things start deteriorating. But then there's water leaks that are hidden, that you can't find, you don't know about until all of a sudden you got a huge mess. What are some symptoms of hidden water leaks? Well,
obviously you mentioned one, mildew.
Yep.
Mold and mildew. We go into a lot of places where we go to work in an enclosed area, let's say under a sink, we open up a cabinet, it's dark in there to begin with, but as we start removing items under there and get in with adequate lighting, we can start seeing, the signs of mold and mildew, on the drywall, on the bottoms of the cabinets. And many times, they're not even wet to the touch. So, well, this is coming from someplace, beyond this wall, and it's working its way through. And for some people, not as serious. Other people, it could be very serious, mold and mildew or allergy reactions. And if not you, maybe a friend or somebody that comes into your house that may have a severe allergic reaction, and they don't even know you have it. Also, staining water. A lot of times, I remember going in to clean a lot of kitchen sink drains. And the thing that we love to do, we all love our plastic Cars bags when we were allowed to have them. Thankfully, COVID gave us a reprieve. We got to have them for a little bit longer. That's the only good thing about COVID was the plastic bags. But people tend to get those bags, 10, 20, 30 of them a week, and they're really easy to just put down under the kitchen sink.
Sure.
Because we know we're going to need them at some point. And we go in and we pull out hundreds of these bags, that are just stuffed in there month after month after month. And as we're pulling them out, that's when we notice, and we point out to the homeowner, hey, are you aware that some of these bags are actually wet? And they said, no, I didn't know that. And we start looking around, and then we find, leaks that are in there. And, it could be a visible leak, coming from a disposal or a pipe. But in a lot of cases, it's in that place behind the cabinet or from the dishwasher that you just don't see.
Sure.
And it can, in addition to the mold and mildew, of course, the damage to the drywall, subflooring, cabinets, a lot of stuff can a small drip can turn into a really large expense. Sure. And one thing a lot of people don't know, and I just learned this probably within the last 10 years in the industry, we always think about fires. We always have smoke detectors in our house, but statistically, across the country, there's more damage in dollar figures, far more damage from water than there are from fires. And we just don't think about that, that there are those occasional backups, those drips, those leaks, those things that if we don't catch them, an overflow valve on a water heater or something that's just an ongoing drip, and there's added water costs and then, damage to the subfloor and things, that cost can add up quickly before you know it.
Sure. So speaking of water heaters, do you have any tips to keep water heaters working for a long time?
Regular maintenance,
Yeah.
just having them regularly maintained is probably one of the best things. Also getting the right size water heater for the usage for your particular residence. But the other thing is just give us a call, have us come out, have us take a look, and give you the best recommendations for your particular situation, because everybody's situation is slightly different. And I would rather have one of our experts come out and take a look at it than give you some highfalutin advice.
Sure.
Over the.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
So where can people find you and learn more about your business?
Well, our website, drainmastersak.com.
Okay.
We're also on Facebook, so come and like us on Facebook. We don't have much of a Twitter. I don't tweet very much or tweet very much, but I'm getting ready to start tweeting more. That's pretty much our home base.
Well, actually, there's a YouTube.
Oh yes, we have a YouTube channel.
YouTube channel, and there's some videos on there. One of the ones that's on there that a lot of homeowners might find interesting is it essentially goes through and diagrams a layout in a home of all the different drain pipes that are there, from the the main waste line, the lateral sewer line, to secondary drains, how they connect within a house, how that all, and there's a lot of helpful information on there that they can look at and research. If they have questions about anything, they can call. We're always available to help out and give them, the best expert advice that we can. But a lot of that will just answer lots of questions. And it's actually one of the compliments we get from a lot of people in our reviews. We have a lot of great customers that leave us great reviews. And we find that they tend to have a similar theme, and that's that they said, you know, we've had companies out before to work in our home, but they didn't really take the time to help us understand our system like your technicians did. And that's what we train our guys to do. Take the time. That engagement with the customer, finding out, you know, what all did they do? What are, you know, lifestyle questions? How often do they entertain in the home? How many people are using the facilities? How large is the family? Because that really gives us a sense of the best recommendations to give. Maybe they have undersized piping, or they're, you know, using fixtures or things that's just no longer, that were great, you know, when there was 2 or 3 people in the home, but now that there's 6 or 7, it's just not adequate. And so we get a lot of questions where most people, they don't know how things work. They're surprised to find out that all the pipes do eventually connect together, and there's only one pipe that goes out and everything goes through it. So they get surprised when they find out that the kitchen sink eventually does connect to the tub drain, you know, into the commode and things like that. So helping them to understand how that all works really does give them peace of mind, and they're really appreciative to have that knowledge of, you know, what they need to do to maintain their system in the future.
And empowering our customers to make the best decisions for themselves.
Right.
It's not about us telling you, you got to do this, this, and this. No, we're going to give you all of the information that we can, let you know all of the potential problems, pitfalls, and best solutions, and then let you decide. It is your house. It is your house. You love your house. We just want to help your house love you back.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, you want to keep a good relationship between your house and you.
That's great. So that's all the questions I have. Is there anything else that you'd like to mention or talk about with your business that I may have missed?
I think we went over recruiting quite a bit, but we are always recruiting. We're always recruiting. We
Okay.
hire when we find the right person. So if there's anybody watching who is interested in our company, in the industry, go to our website. We have a join our team page on the website that has some information about the different roles available and an application process.
That's awesome. Great.
And we really want to be to our knowledge, the first drain company in town that has the first female drain tech. So if the ladies are out there and they're interested in getting their hands dirty, stop by, give us a call. Love to have a chat with you and see if this is. A lot of people come into this industry and say, I didn't know this is what it was. I didn't know the opportunities that were here. And some of them do very well and really excel at it. So we're always recruiting, always looking for those right individuals.
That's great. That's great. All right. Well, thanks for joining us today, Rich and Deb. We really
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank you. It was
being
a
here.
joy.
Yeah, you bet. We really appreciate learning more about Drain Masters. And thanks for everybody for tuning in and learning more about Drain Masters. We'll see you next week when we're featuring Hunter Guthrie with Shake the Money Trees. Thanks.
Nice.
For now. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.